What's up, humans and freaks? So, question for you. Would you jump out of an airplane with a 50% chance to maybe 90% chance, depending on how you look at it? Would you jump out of that airplane with a 50% to 90% chance that your parachute would not open? No, you would never jump out of that airplane. If the odds of your parachute opening were 50% to maybe 90%, it was going to fail because you would die. Would you walk out your front door if a bowling ball was going to fall from the sky and fall on your head? And that was like a 50% chance to 90% chance of happening. Would you walk out your front door? No, you wouldn't. Would you sign a business contract with me where I had the incentive to break the contract with you? And if I broke the contract, I would get most of your assets and you would suffer, but I would not. I would win. No one would sign a contract with somebody if they would pretty much lose most of their things if their business partner just decided one day they wanted out of the contract. Okay, so these are just a few little examples of what I'm talking about here. Now, when you look at marital satisfaction rates, okay? I'm not talking about divorce rates. I'm talking about marital satisfaction rates, okay? How satisfied are you in your marriage? You could call it marital bliss, you could call it. That is probably around 8%. Okay, so 8% of couples will report they're still in a state of marital bliss. Okay, and this isn't after a couple months of just newlyweds. This isn't after a year or 2 years or whatever. This is like down the line. Only a very, very small percentage of married couples can truly say, yeah, we're still in a state of marital bliss. Like we still, some may say, well, that's too extreme. Okay, let's put it this way. Are you together because you actually want to be together? Or are you still married because of money? You don't want to part ways with money and lose money and all that. Or you're still married because you have kids together. Or you're still married, and again, it's married on paper, but not in reality, not in practical reality. But let's just play along for a second. So you can hold up a piece of paper, a certificate from the government. You can hold up your piece of paper and say, well, yeah, no. It's still a success because we still have this piece of paper that we can hold up and show you that, yeah, legally we're still okay. But just because you have this piece of paper that says, see, we're still legally married, that doesn't mean that it's a successful marriage. Because you have to define success. Is it a successful marriage if you can hold up a piece of paper and say, see, our names are still on this piece of paper, but you're living in separate ends of the house and your sexual relationship ended years ago? Nah. Then you're not really still married for real. You see what I mean? Okay, if you can hold up a piece of paper and say, oh, no, see, it's still a success because we have a piece of paper that says we're married, but you're absolutely miserable and you're stuck. And let's be honest, and a lot of you don't understand this, but most, meaning over 50% of people that can hold up a piece of paper and still say that they're married on paper legally by the government, most of those marriages are not you could say, successful. They're not real. They can just hold up a piece of paper and say, "Oh, no, 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 no. See, we're still married. It's still a success." No. Because how are you measuring success? If you're still married just because of money issues, or you have kids together, or fill in the blank, I wouldn't call that a success. Would you call that a success? I wouldn't. But again, everybody's different. But I'm just throwing this out there to say that, guys, I mean, I'm now thinking, let's see, almost 30 years now. Because again, age 16, working in the gyms, this is when I really started to notice all this stuff. And I would talk to older men all the time. Age 16 to 20, I would talk to older men all the time in the gyms that were married, had families, all the time. So I'm 42 now. So 16 to 42, what's that? I don't know. I can't do math right now. But basically 30 years, almost 30 years. I've been observing this. And then when you look at the studies and the facts, so people a lot of times just look at the divorce rate. All right, let's throw that out there. Let's just say it's 50%. Okay. So off rip, you're going to have 50%. They're not going to pretty much go past usually years 3, 4, 5. A divorce will happen in there. And then the other big area is years 7 through 9. So right in there, years like 2 to 5, and then years 7 through 9. So 50% done right there. But then here's where the real tragedy, I think, kind of happens, okay? It's not the divorces. It's not the people that went through a divorce, because now they're, free to start over, so to speak. I think the real tragedy is this, is you still have a large percentage of people that are married on paper, but not in reality. And that's what I was talking about earlier. You have a piece of paper you can hold up, but you do not want to be there at all. But you have kids together, or for money issues, or social, social programming, or social status, or whatever. And in the religious world, it's even worse. See, this is the dark reality that I'm trying to tell you here. I'll just use the Christian world as an example, because that's the world that I roam around in, the Christian world. Okay. So you'll have, and again, they can be genuine Christians. I'm not saying they're not Christians. They can be real deal Christians, full blown. They have salvation. They know the word, everything, right? But they're just married on paper. They're not married in practical reality, meaning, again, prime example. This happens all the time. Way more than you can imagine. Just in the Christian world, but it happens in the religious world. So people stay married because, we want to make this look good and keep this looking good on the surface. But in reality, behind closed doors, that marriage ended years ago. Years ago. It's been over for years, guys. I mean, I knew of a guy, literally had not had sex with his wife for 5 years. 5 years. So you're telling me, and see, the reason why I use that example is because that is the one gift that God gives in marriage to married couples. That's a gift from God. It's a good thing. And that is the main thing. I don't care what anyone says. That is the main thing in a married relationship, the sexual component. If that is gone, you don't have a marriage. Oh, but you hold up a piece of paper that says, see, it's still a success. See, we're still married. It's like, bruh. But not really. So that's my little rant for right now, guys. This subject, could go on for hours, but that's enough for now.